And now, it's time for the award-winning PC game reviews by GameSHOUT. The GameSHOUT PC game reviews.
You didn't have to do a lot of shooting.
There were just no objectives really. So you're in the demo. You're running around going, "Well, what's going on?"
Yeah, well, that's it, and that was the problem. That was my problem because I ran into.
You need to have a purpose to it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to go, what to do, or how to do it. But bottom line is, it's an interesting demo. If you want to check it out, you can download it at demoindex.com. It's published by Naked Sky, and it is, an arcade action game. It does require a 3 gig processor and 512 of RAM. And it's about a 225 meg download. Not too bad. It's not that huge. Well, moving on, we're going to jump on into, I guess, a little more nostalgia with our Command and Conquer. Yeah, Josh is going to take us on a trip through Command and Conquer, the first decade.
Everything you thought you knew about war is no longer enough. Your enemies are bigger. Your enemies are closer. But the most daunting thing of all is your enemies are smarter.
Command & Conquer has been touted for years as the real-time strategy game that started it all. Well, next to Dune, of course. But for the last 10 years, we have seen a multitude of games and expansion packs come and go. Some good, some great, and some not so good. Now EA is finally seeing the goodness of this series and giving us all the RTS games and their expansion packs in one big bundle. Thankfully, though, there's no sign of Soul Survivor or Renegade. 2 aborted attempts at trying to break out of the RTS series. If you don't know what Soul Survivor was, go back. Trust me, it's hilarious to look at. It was obviously never intended to be released. And Renegade was just a flaky first-person shooter. Tagged at a $40 price tag, you're definitely going to get your money's worth here. Now, let me give you the list of games that are going to be included. You get the original Command & Conquer, plus the expansion pack, the Covert Operations. You can have the original Red Alert with its expansion packs, Counter-Strike, and the Aftermath. Then we jump into the sequel to Command & Conquer 1, Tiberian Sun, and then its expansion pack, Tiberian Sun Firestorm. Now we also have the sequel to Red Alert with Red Alert 2 and Yuri's Revenge expansion pack. Then we break into the Renegade. Renegade's going to be in there. Oh wait, I'm sorry. There is Renegade, but then it's going to break into Generals, and General 0 Hour. 2 of the most recent games, and some of the good ones, but Red Alert 2 is still the best. While the first Command & Conquer may look like an eyesore by today's graphical standards, it was still the game that hooked many players back then. And then you bring it on over to Red Alert, which was a spin-off that used the same game engine, but ask the question, what if Hitler wasn't around? Tiberian Sun saw an attempt at reinventing the real-time strategy genre, with James Earl Jones having a starring role. While it didn't meet the greatness that was accompanied by its predecessors, it was still a fun time, and a very good story. And Red Alert 2. By far the best Command & Conquer game to date, in my opinion. With the continuation of the Red Alert story, great acting, and a killer soundtrack, come on guys, Hell March 2 will go down in history as one of the greatest video game songs. It goes to show how good Westwood was at crafting a game. So, I mean, this is some of the best gaming moments. I mean, Command & Conquer, you had Kane, the ultimate bad guy, and I think that guy right there, I mean, they just got to bring back Kane. They got to bring back Command & Conquer and Kane, and, you know, these are the games that they need to re-bring back. We need more Command & Conquer. Command & Conquer was some of the best real-time strategy gaming. Yeah, they've kind of redone it now. Now you got Age of Empires, Empire Earth, Rome, Total War. You got even Warhammer. 50,000, I think it was. But I mean, yeah, you got all these great real-time strategy games coming out. It's time to get back to the roots. We need the Westwood guys to come back and say, hey, we is still around, and we are doing another Command & Conquer. Because, frankly, Command & Conquer is where it's at. We're looking for Tiberian Dusk and Red Alert 3, two games that fanboys of the series have been looking forward to for years. And, you know, one of the greatest things about all these games is, you know, the acting, the cutscenes, the full-motion video. These are games, yeah, I know Westwood was disbanded, but they actually, I take that back, they came back, they kind of came together, a lot of the Westwood employees came back together to form a new development company that's doing a new Star Wars RTS game. I think we've previewed that one, but still, I mean, if they could come up with another Command & Conquer game, that would just rock. I mean, again, the actors that they had, they had Carrie Werher in Red Alert 2, they had, creepy German guy whose name is played Yuri in Yuri's Revenge and Red Alert 2. James Earl Jones in Tiberian's Son. I mean, they actually had actors come into these games. It's like, I get to see James Earl Jones sitting there going, well, what is this? The hell? I mean, it's like, how do you approach James Earl Jones?
CNN.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. You know, just him sitting up there in a chair going, yeah. But I don't know. It's Simba. Wrong movie. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, the Command & Conquer series has a long history going for it. These are some of the best RTS games in history. So I mean, if for anybody looking at, I mean, and plus a $40 price tag, you could pick up Generals and Generals Zero Hour for $30. Huh? You could pick up Renegade, Yuri's Revenge, Red Alert 2, Tiberian Sun, and Tiberian Firestorm for $20. Get both those, it's $50, and you're still not getting the original Red Alert Command & Conquer for a $40 price tag. Yeah, baby. So look forward to this. This is going to be coming out in the end of this month, by the end of this month. So look forward to it in your local video game store. That's Command & Conquer. 10 years.
Now, what was your very favorite of the Command & Conquers?
Red Alert 2, hands down.
Red Alert 2. What was it that made that your favorite?
What was it that made it my favorite? It got back to the basics where, you know, you had Tiberian Sun when that came on the scene. It kind of
addicting.
It was addicting, and it got back to the fun principle. It came up with these, you know, weird and cool things. It was more of a, you know, and I don't know what exactly it was. I guess it's hard to really pin down the reason why I liked it a lot better. It was a lot more brighter, a lot more vibrant, and a lot more just overall fun. And then you bring in Yuri and his troops, and those were some of the best gaming. I mean, Tom, my father, and I still get together and have small LAN parties in our living room playing Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. That's some of how much fun it was.
That's a long-lived game. Well, listen, we have the, yours truly coming up with a review of Aerial Strike. So we're going to take a quick break, bring that to you right after this. Are you looking for a stable game server hosting company? Well, BFG Servers has been in business since 2001. Looking for a game server hosting company with real credibility? Well, BFG Servers is a premier provider of internet gaming, voice, and web hosting services. Are you looking for a responsive, knowledgeable technical support? Well, BFG Servers generally responds to account holder technical issues within 1 hour. BFGServers.com, when size does matter. And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Captain Maverick. We are right in the middle of our PC playground. There's nothing more fun. Right, girls? No, that's right, ladies. You just keep it up. That's right. And what you've been waiting for, the review of the night. The review of Aerial Strike. Aerial Strike, the Jaeger Missions, was released on Xbox about a year, maybe a little more than that ago. It was a nice, quirky little dogfighting game that enjoyed a very cool aircraft with lots of guns. Now, when releasing Aerial Strike Low Altitude, High Stakes for the PC, the game enjoyed certain advantages. Now, one of which was graphics, and the other was, well, multiplayer mode. But only the name changed to protect the innocent. Nothing else about the game was changed, and some Aerial Strike fans are calling that a crime. Well, you play as Magnus Tide. That's right, I said Magnus Tide. Magnus Tide. Now, there's a man's name for you if ever I heard one. Magnus. Well, he's a hotshot pilot. He's on contract to the company Proteus. He's an ex-Marine, if ever there was such a thing as an ex-Marine, who sports not only a chip on his shoulder, but an air of arrogance that will make most married men grin. Because you married men know there's no way a married man can be arrogant. That's right, and it makes most women shudder. He really thinks he is all that, you know? But he only occasionally, you know, and only occasionally get ahead of it. But remember, this is the future, you know, we're way in the future, and maybe that's how they play it in the future. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. The world dividing is now divided, instead of in political regions, it's now divided into corporate entities. There's no longer any central government. Big corporations run everything. Gosh, this sounds like a liberal's worst nightmare. Now, each company has their own military division. It is a liberal's worst nightmare. And it's a hired army, so to speak. These military wings, they wage war for territory and technology and, well, resources. All the fighting that's going to take place in this game takes place in the atmosphere, close to the ground, and quite often over water. Backing up Tide in his battles will be a futuristic plane, a futuristic fighter plane, submarines, frigates, aircraft carriers, and a whole lot more. Now, Tide is not a company man. He's on contract. He's known as a freelancer. Now, that type seems to be looked down upon by most of the company people. So, and also, he's, you know, the guy can fly. He fights well. He uses his wits to outsmart the enemy. He's also really cocky, which is apparent in the voice acting. Now, there's a lot of voice acting in this title, and the cutscenes are going to tell you which way to go and what to do when you get there, and quite often how to do it. So you got to listen real carefully. In the opening scenes, we learn that Tide worked for Proteus before and had some, well, let's call them difficulties. Now, this is Tide's last-ditch effort to salvage what's left of his career. And yes, there is a love interest. Yeah, he must really have messed things up with her, because his dispatcher, Sarah, she's extremely cold to Tide. She refers to him as freelancer. Yeah. So now we have all the makings of an underdog, and you know you got to root for an underdog, don't you? This new world, it's being run by corporations. It's not meant to make, I mean, they're not in business to make friends. In fact, well, there are some bad guys out there in the world, and they're known as pirates. Can I get an R? Come on, guys. R. All right. Well, now the stage is set. Proteus, it's in the search and for more territory and resources to acquire. The opposition, these German-sounding pirates who are just a bit over the top. So now you're flying through these lush islands in search of some pirate encampments, and then you get into these dog fights with them, and you shoot them down. I'm not saying the missions are easy. They're not all that easy, but there sure is a little more detailed storyline told in the cutscenes than are carried on into your cockpit. Now, flying is very interesting. The aircraft that Tide flies is very, very cool. It's kind of unfolds and folds itself up when it lands and takes off, respectively. The ship, it's apparently very well armed. You look at it, you see, oh yeah, got guns, oh yeah, weapons, oh yeah, I like that. You're going to be able to carry 5 weapons at a time. Well, there are only 5 weapons. Your main weapon the gun with secondary fire, a laser, some missiles, a rail gun. There's also some hidden caches of ammo stashed around on the ground through the game, but you got to land to acquire it. And there's also some repair stations, so you can repair your ship if you need to, but you also got to land to do that. And the flying is very, very slow. You've got two modes, hover and regular flight. Slow is real slow and silent, but even the regular flight was way too slow. It's not like your Apache AH-64 flying, 12 feet off the deck. The sound, it was rich and full. But I had a problem that kept creeping up, and it was sound quality. I didn't like my sound blaster. Overall, the game had some appeal. It's a great bargain bin game. Now, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now, tonight, we've had Origin of the Species, Project...
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.